The champ is here.
We will definitely not shut up and dribble.
The champ is here. I must be the greatest. The champ is here.
I'm going to continue to stand with the people.
The champ is here.
I will not lose.
I'm a bad man. I shook up the world.
Yes. Welcome. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you are here with we. My name is EJ, and I got my man.
Yeah, mate.
Yes, he's the DB of the show. We are here live in Las Vegas, taping the Vegas Hype Studios, and we are Black in Sports, giving a voice to the culture that won't shut up and dribble. Here interviewing the best professionals in the game and in the boardroom. All right, so we're covering it all while laughing at it all and providing a platform to be heard. All right, so you know what we do about this time. We got to welcome our guests. We got a special guest here today. All right, you have been deemed, all right, the most recognizable voice in Las Vegas.
Ooh.
Most. All right. And we ain't gonna hold it up no more. Today we have Mr. Golden Pipes in the house. Carnell Johnson. Let's clap it up for him.
Thank you for having me here today.
Hear that melodious voice. So how we start our show, man, is a shoot your shot moment.
Okay.
All right. So this is kind of, you give us a story. It could have been anything, success, fail.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you could have shoot your shot and, you know, we need to get a rebound. But just a story of a time where you went for it all and you bet on yourself.
Well, as an entertainer, you got to do that 100% all the time, because if you don't, you'll never make it, you know. And I'm gonna quote Wayne Gretzky: "You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take." So
Boom.
So you know, me being a singer in hockey, I have to keep going. So I guess one story is to get this gig, I had to send in a video.
Okay.
And I just chose one of my YouTube videos of me singing. I was just like, we'll just see what happens. Send it in.
Uh-huh.
They wanted me to come in for the live audition. I came in with, like, over the course of a few days, like 600 other people. We all did our live audition, and then they narrowed it down to 40-something, and I was one of those. And it just rolled after that, after I got started.
I love it.
That's big time.
That's a hell of a shoot your shot. with the Wayne Gretzky lead-in quote.
Mm.
Yeah,
Well, you know,
all net.
yeah, right,
Yeah.
right.
Just a hat trick on him.
Correct. So let's back up to your background.
All
so I guess, where did your love and your talent start for in the music and in sports in general? Your love for sports. How did that start?
My love for sports, 100%, believe it or not, started when I started singing for the Golden Knights. So
Okay.
in 2018.
Okay.
Now, I've been a fan. I've always, you know, kind of watched it here, watched it there. My grandma was a huge Runnin' Rebels fan in the 90s.
Okay.
You know, the Larry
The
Johnson
Johnson
days,
days.
Stacey
Yes,
Ogman, all
Ogman.
those guys.
Yep.
And so it was on at the house because we lived with my grandparents. And so she would be like in the other room yelling and cheering. And so I've been around it for a long time. I played baseball when I was a little kid. I played
Okay.
soccer.
Okay.
But I have never been in love with a sport until I started going to games and started learning about it.
Okay.
So it's something that's kind of new to me.
Got you. And in that, I guess that foundation, you were born and raised here in Las Vegas, right?
Born and raised, yeah.
What high school did you go to?
Green Valley.
Green Valley.
Mhm.
So in those times,
Green Valley, okay.
yeah,
You're a Gator.
Yep.
definitely a Gator.
Yep.
So in those times,
Mhm.
was there ever were you a bigger kid as a kid as well, or?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't the biggest in school,
Sure.
but I definitely had football coaches looking at me.
I was getting to that. They was like,
They was
hey,
recruiting
my
in
man,
lunch
Yeah,
line.
they were just like, hey, why don't you come try out for football?
yeah.
And my dumb ass was like, no, choir's where I want to be. That's going to do it for me. You know, not thinking, you know, well, that's where all the cheerleaders go to the football players. But you know, later I wised up and I was like, well, at least let me do something. So I ended up doing like track, shot put, and discus.
My guy.
There you go.
My guy.
There you go.
Yep.
So where did your kind of musical inspiration, like, have you always been singing? Is that like something that was from the scratch, since you said, hey, you know, I'm not going to play football, let me stay in this choir room?
It definitely comes from both my parents. My mom more so than my dad,
Oh,
but my mom, she was singing in high school. She went to Bonanza.
Okay.
My dad went to Clark. So, I mean, they both sang in their respective schools. They had me when they were very young. They were both 15 years old. And I just kind of grew up around it. So there are cassette tapes of me singing it like 2 years old.
Oh, we got to get our hands on some of that right there.
Right.
That classic
Right,
golden pipes
yeah,
right there.
Yeah, like just ask my mom; she might still have them. But it just kind of stayed with me all through life. I took piano lessons when I was in elementary school.
Wow.
I did my handbell choir at the end of elementary school. I did band in middle school.
Hold on, handbell?
Handbell, yeah.
You got to give me, I'm not, what's the handbell? Is that
So I mean, think of like you know, if you see one of those movies where they take one of those little bells and ding, 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 ding. So it's those, but a much more refined version of it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, much bigger, different sizes.
Gotcha.
But yeah, much more refined version of that.
the handbells?
The handbells.
That's what's up.
And then yeah, middle school band and switched to choir in middle school, and that's once I started in 7th grade.
You was locked.
That was it.
Nice.
Got it. Okay. So you switched in 7th grade. Because I was going to get to that because I grew up in a small church, and we all had to be in the Sunshine Band.
Did you play the handbells, or were you?
I did not.
Or did
I
you?
did not.
Were
I
you on a
didn't have any.
tambourine?
So everybody, I knew how to play. I played tambourine, little bongos a little bit.
Little bongos.
Yeah. So, but everybody had to sing in the Sunshine Band, right? We all had to sing in the choir, and I knew I couldn't sing when they didn't offer me a solo like they offered everybody else. Right? So everybody else had a solo. So I guess when did you know? And maybe it was middle school, but when did you know? Like, you know what? I can really blow. I have golden pipes. Like I got pipes. I can sing.
I mean, I guess you could say it started in middle school when I really started recognizing it. I was getting solos.
Dang,
My
that's what's
my
up.
voice was it had dropped between 6th grade and 7th grade. Was literally that 3-month span. I went from being a boy soprano to, I mean, you know, I didn't sound like this,
Right.
but
Had some
I
bass.
had
You had that
some
drop.
bass in me, and that choir teacher was very happy when I came rolling through. And started getting some solos. And then once I got into high school, I started like really gaining the solos. There's something called solo and ensemble. It's where it's a competition where you just go and sing.
Right.
And the person who gets the highest score in the state of Nevada gets something called command performance. And I won that junior and senior year.
Back to
Back to back.
Let's go.
Slight flex.
Yeah.
A little bit.
It all started
Humble
there.
brag.
Wow.
So
All started.
You played the piano. Was there any other instruments that you were getting into?
Piano was mostly it in that time. Now in high school, I started picking up the guitar and drums a little bit. I can
Okay.
still drum a little bit, but I actually have a duo here in town, and I play guitar for that. And yeah, that's, I don't know what else to say about that. I was just like,
That's
that's
fine,
pretty
man.
much it.
That's all.
Oh wait, saxophone, because I was in band in middle school. I forgot about that.
I mean, how do you
I can
just
pull that
forget
out.
about the saxophone?
Saxophone,
Like,
right. Like
Hey,
you know,
you
see, like,
You want me to pull out some Kenny G? Just let me know. Just let me know.
that's just something that, oh, you know what? The sax. He's gonna pull that out, right? Like,
It's been a long time since that one.
Okay. So how did you make your choice into moving into college? How did you make your choice into what college you're going to go to?
I think definitely the music school had something to do with it. I actually started college at Arizona State.
Okay.
They had a pretty good music program, and I got a full ride scholarship to go there. I didn't want to stay in town with my family. I was like, you know, it's time for me to get out on my own, try my own thing. And that was a horrible thing because I started partying too hard.
Yeah, I was about to press pause because you said
Arizona
ASU,
State. Hey,
and the first thing I thought it was the pools or something.
Yep.
Just right immediately, right? I've been to Arizona State campuses for
I have too.
a
And
lot
that's
of
all I'm
different
going to say
things.
about that.
Correct.
And in
Baby, forgive me.
in 99 2000, Playboy rated them the #1 party school. Yep.
They
And I
still
went
hold that
2000
illustrious title.
Oh man. And in 2001, it lived up to its reputation. So I
Tell us some of those shoot your shot on.
right? There are too many of those because you know they know how to say no down there.
Oh boy.
Right.
'Cause they got their pick.
So you ended up going. So then you transferred to UNLV.
Right.
Yeah, I came back to UNLV. I actually started as undeclared. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I kind of
Okay.
wanted to get away from music a little bit.
Just taking a break. And
Yeah.
kind of reassess or whatever.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and then after like a month, year and a half, I was like, you know what, let me just go back to it, and so I went back into music education.
Nice.
So what was that year and a half time frame without, you know, doing what you've been doing all your life? How was that process?
It was interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, at college, I was taking care of all of my core subjects that you have to do.
Sure.
Right.
But I was also trying a couple other things. I tried architecture. I tried communications, just to see if I liked anything else, and nothing else spoke to me like music did.
See, that's the importance of college. I'm going to go back into that. Every time I have an opportunity to bring it back, we always talk about the importance of the NCAA.
Every time we talk about college, he brings Rocky Marciano out. Like, listen, down with the NCAA. College is okay to experience,
right?
But the fact is, if you're an athlete and you have that's your thing, and you know that's where you want to go, there's options for you where college is not something you need to do.
The key was options, right? That was the key word there.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Mr. Golden Pipe said he explored some different options in college, but that was where he learned some different options. Like, this was my love for music. He already knew that was his love, but he had to experience some things to really
he experienced some things at ASU as well. So
we're not gonna get into those experiences.
So, all right. So you went to UNLV. How is having a music career in Vegas, right? Like, some have certain perceptions like, oh my gosh, it's like if you would they tell you to go to LA if you want to be an actor and things like that, entertainment, right? So you would think, especially old Vegas, right, where they had more the live music and things like that. How was it coming up?
It's different. It's a whole other thing. I mean, Vegas used to have a lot of musicals here. They had Lion King, they had $1 Million Quartet, they had Mamma Mia, just a ton, Jersey Boys, and I tried out for those musicals.
Okay.
I was in my 20s, so I was still pretty young, but I tried out for all of those, and it's hard.
Really?
Like, Vegas is a very small town, and like, once you get established, people kind of look for those names as they're coming through. So a lot of my friends now got those gigs. I didn't know them back then.
Gotcha.
But I was trying to get those gigs. And I mean, I started in 2003. That was my first time I auditioned for a musical here in town. I can't even remember what it was, but you're talking 17 years I've been auditioning. I mean, once I got the gig there, so 15 years.
Okay.
But it's not easy by any means.
Really?
I won't say it's as hard as LA. LA is riddled with it. You throw a dart, you can find somebody who can who can do something.
You can go to Applebee's and find somebody.
Yeah, because that's what they want to do, and then they got to pay the bills otherwise. But
pay the bills.
Yeah, it wasn't easy getting into it now.
Got you.
Forgive me for my ignorance on this question, but how much of singing is kind of God-given talent, and then the part that's the trained part? How much, where is that line drawn, or how much does that go into both of those categories there?
That's a hard question for me to answer.
Okay.
And it's so in my family, there are a bunch of people who can sing. They're not necessarily trained, but they can hold a tune.
Okay.
But then there are people who are completely tone deaf. And so I don't know. If you can hold a tune, I think you can be trained to a certain degree.
Okay.
You can, the voice is just like any other muscle. You work it, it gets stronger. But you're going to sound like you're going to sound. It's hard to change that. So it's I mean, I know it sounds simple, but
bad news for you, Miles. You was looking for a hope.
I was trying to say I can get a solo on the Sunshine Band at 30-something years old now. Please.
Negative goes.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense.
That's too funny. All right, so you sang at the Venetian.
Yes.
Are you still there, or did you like? How long have you been there? Like, how did that gig come about?
I started there in 2001 after I came back from ASU.
Oh,
and
okay.
Needed a gig, and there were a bunch of my other college friends who were like, just go audition for here. And I went and auditioned. They're like, yeah, and they taught me how to row the gondola there. Did it for a couple of years, and then kind of partied a little too much, called out a little too much, and they just basically just stopped putting me on the schedule.
That's too funny.
So that's my early 20s.
No, absolutely. But still, like, you're singing, you're in your lane, but it's different, right?
Yeah.
So the gondola rides, and it's so funny, man. I used to remember just all the times going through there. Do you have a wild story about the gondola ride? Like, has there been any like really weird requests and things like that? Because I know they tell you like this is the guidelines, but I mean, this is a tipping town. Someone comes with the proper handshake. You got any of those stories?
The weirdest thing for me, other people do have stories.
Oh, really?
Because we used to have the AVNs here.
Yes.
And they would ride the gondolas, and people got some stories on there. They saw
Especially
everything.
going under the tunnels, right?
Oh, yeah. They saw everything in there. But the weirdest one for me, it's kind of like it was empowering for them, but me, it's just awkward, was this woman who had breast cancer and survived, which is great.
100%.
Bless her heart.
Right.
But she had a double mastectomy.
Oh.
So, nothing up there.
Absolutely.
But her and her husband's thing was they go to these places and they take pictures topless. So like we're in the tunnel and I'm going and like without warning, she just takes off her top and I'm just like, and then I notice that there's nothing there and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And then they kind of explained afterwards and I was like, well, power to you, but like warn me next time.
Can a brother get a heads up on that? Like,
Yeah.
because because most people are understanding, right? So it's
Yeah.
like, no, yeah, just let me know. I can turn my head or something, right?
Oh no, they were doing a picture. I ducked down. I pulled down my hat and I was just like, don't look. I can't be in this picture.
That's awesome. Your daughter just had a pretty, I won't say recently, but I mean, she had a pretty dope COVID birthday. Like I had a COVID birthday and it wasn't as dope as your daughter's birthday. Tell us about how that went down. And I mean, this is pretty awesome.
That was that was just supposed to be like one or two cars. So my daughter is born May 2nd. So
Okay.
it was pretty early in the COVID days.
Mhm.
Before we kind of opened things back up and people are like, what's COVID? Now they're all partying at pools and everything.
Right.
So we were having one of those drive-by birthdays where all I wanted people was to just drive by,
Okay.
honk the horn, say hi. And one of my really good friends here in town is a retired firefighter. He's actually he was in 9/11 and he moved over here and like,
Wow.
he's one of the greatest guys in town, does so much for so many people.
That's dope.
So I just asked him, hey, can we just have like an engine? Can we just have it drive by, flash the sirens a little
Keep
bit,
it pushing.
wave? He
Mhm.
was like, oh yeah, and I'll get a cop car too. And I was like, cool, couple cars, no big deal, right? So 2:00 rolls around. The first couple of my friends' cars, they start,
Mhm.
and then down the street, just this cavalcade of like 4 or 5 fire engines, like 4 or 5 cop cars, some ambulances, an old like fire truck that has no top on it. I'm just like, what is going on? He gets here and he goes, so you just wanted a couple, right? And I was just like, you. But I mean, that's something. And people keep telling me like, how are you going to top that? I'm not.
Yeah.
Right. It's a wrap on that.
I'm not going to try.
You had some other special guests that came by too, right?
Oh yeah, we had, who do we have? We had Chance. We had Cash from The Light.
Right.
We had the Aviators guys came by. Like,
How
It
old
was
was she?
crazy.
How old was she turning again?
Yeah, that sucks for you.
That's 16.
I know.
About to be real.
I know. I'm hoping she doesn't remember this too
Right.
well.
Well, it's catalog on social media. You might want to block or hide that one. So, hey, Miles, man, we want to jump into those quick hits, man.
All right. So I got a series of kind of quick questions. You give me your thoughts on them.
Okay.
First time you were starstruck.
High school. I was a standard bearer in golf for Darius Rucker.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, nice.
Someone you would pay to see perform.
I would pay to see. I know he's gone, but Ray Charles.
Good shit.
That is
Like
good.
that's one that I'm kind of miffed I didn't get to see before he passed.
Nice.
Okay. So these two, I don't know, in my personal opinion, I don't know if they're really vocalists, but Rihanna or Gaga.
I might have to go Gaga.
I totally agree. My man from Maroon 5, I can't think of his name.
Adam Levine.
Can he sing to you?
Yes, he can.
Oh, come on. Okay.
I mean, at the core, yes.
At the core.
It's
There we
one of-
go.
Technically.
Yes, technically.
Back to holding the tune.
Yeah, he can hold a tune. And, does he have a voice that I enjoy? Not really. But that doesn't mean that he can't sing.
Okay.
Hey,
I
that's
got
all
you.
we need to hear right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Confirmed. All right. So on this one, we're going to start one.
Mhm.
We're going to bench one. and we're going to cut one.
Okay.
Series of 3 here.
Okay.
I recently have a daughter as well, so I'm into these kind of musical. We watch them together.
Okay.
Right? So out of these 3, I already know we're going to go here, but Hamilton, Sister Act, or Pitch Perfect. Start one,
Ooh, that's a great one.
bench one, and cut one.
I know he's gonna start.
You're gonna start Hamilton.
Hamilton.
I'll
Yeah,
You're gonna
that's
start
fair.
Hamilton.
So we got that.
Yeah.
Hamilton's been in my bones for 3 years. So, you're gonna bench Sister Act,
Mm-hmm.
and you're gonna cut Pitch Perfect.
Dang, Fat Amy. Oh, good.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. Oh, really quick before we move on. Do you still do Dark Mondays? Perform at Dark Mondays?
Oh, Monday's Dark.
Monday's Dark.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
No,
I'm
it's all
part
right.
dyslexic.
Monday's Dark. Yeah, at the Space, which is right behind the Rio.
Rio over there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just great. I mean, they raise $10,000 every second Monday.
What?
Or 2 Mondays a month, they raise $10,000 for a charity in town, and Mark Chinook is just one of the nicest guys here.
Oh,
in
that's
town.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad I asked that. All right, so let's kind of get into the golden pipes here. Let's get into
All
the
right.
game, man.
All right.
So you did share the story about shooting your shot, right? Going for this competition and becoming, but it wasn't as easy. It took some time, right? Like they had a roster of people, and you finally got a chance to go and never look back.
Yeah, I cut the story short, to be able to tell this part. So, I got the email after the live audition.
Okay.
I got the email of the 42, and they're like, "We're gonna send you."
42.
Yeah, because there's usually 41 or 42 home games.
Home game. So they wanted.
So
Gotcha.
they have
Yep.
one for
Yep.
every single game. So I was one of the 42, and they said we're gonna send you an email next week and give you all the details. Well, next week turned into 2 weeks. 2 weeks turned into 4 weeks. 4 weeks turned into months.
Don't call us. We'll call you.
Right, and I just wasn't getting anything. And as an entertainer, we're used to that because you audition for something, and if they don't want you, they just don't call you. Not that they didn't want me, but I'm just used to waiting.
Okay.
And so finally, one of my friends posted that she got a position with them. So I sent her a message, was like, "Hey, I got this email a while back." Sent it to her. She was like, I was like, "Is there anything you can do?" She's like, "All right, give me a little bit. I'll get back to you in a couple of days." And in a couple of days, she emailed me back, said, "Email this person, let them know what's going on." I was like, "Cool." So I emailed them. Didn't hear anything for about a week, but in that week, I got it was either an email, I can't remember, it was an email, call, or text, but they contacted me and said, "Hey, our singer tomorrow night is sick. Would you like to fill in?" And I was like, "Absolutely." They said, "Good, here's sound check, be there." Went in there, sang for sound check. They loved it. And I can neither confirm nor deny this, but I was told that I was the first person in the arena to stop for the word night, because they always say, "Gave proof through the night." Everybody yells it. And I was told I was the first person to stop for it. And
I just got chills.
And when I did that, that kind of
Solidified it.
it kind of solidified it.
Dope shit.
But they asked me back next week, and they said, "Can you sing the Canadian national anthem?" Yep, came in, did both of them. 3 weeks, I just started doing it. And then playoffs comes up, and we made playoffs. We're, Western Conference champs. And the general manager was like, hockey guys are very
superstitious.
Oh my gosh.
I've heard
They're
that.
ridiculously superstitious.
Yeah.
And so the GM said, "I don't want anybody else singing but Carnell." So I sang for the first round, I sang for the second round, I sang for the third round. And then then the third round, that was the whole, I don't know if you saw the Carrie Underwood debacle, because she was just like, "Oh, now that the Preds are out, I'll come sing for you guys." And I didn't say anything, but everybody else was like,
we got
"No,
this.
we got it.
We got
We
this,
good. Don't worry about it."
Nah, we cool.
We got it over here.
And then apparently after her, Aaron Carter was supposed to come in and sing, and they set him up with everything. And eventually that's when the general manager was like, "Dope, we got our guy.
No, we're
We're good." And so singing through all that, we get all the way to the finals. That just yes, I'm trained, but I was also in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
If anybody had been trained and done what I did, it would have been them.
Right.
But because of what I do, and I was also the first person to face the flag, just because that's what I've been taught. The way it's all set up, you're at one end of the rink.
Correct.
And the arena is they're all out behind you, but the flag is this way on the shorter end.
Yep.
So I just asked, "Where's the flag?" And they told me. I didn't tell them I was going to turn to it. I just wanted to know. And so when I went out there, I turned to it. The camera guy was behind me because he's used to everyone else standing that way.
Right.
And then about 30 seconds into it, I hear this. He's walking on the ice around because he's just filming the back of my head.
Right.
So that those were the couple of firsts that I did.
Amazing.
And people liked it, and they kept asking me back. They asked me back second season, and then in the middle of second season is when they asked me, "Will you be the national anthem singer?"
The Golden Pipes.
That's big time.
Yeah, it was really awesome.
So take me into that feeling of walking into the arena, your first time that you sung the national anthem. What was that feeling?
Cold. Like,
Facts.
I mean, that's how it was. Like, obviously you're on ice, but you don't think about it until you're standing there.
Okay.
And it's just, I mean, they have to keep it below freezing because they have to keep the ice cold. I didn't think about it, and I'm sitting there like, I can't remember which leg it was, but one leg just started shaking uncontrollably as I'm singing, and I just, it was nervous. There's 18,500 fans in there, plus all of the employees, plus all of the NHL people.
Right.
I mean, you're talking close to 20,000 people. And
get it. You're just in some shoes, some jeans, and a shirt. Like these guys got like equipment, and even the refs got like full leggings.
Oh yeah,
and
they
everything
got
going.
pads on. Yeah, and I just, it was cold and a little nerve wracking just being there.
Shit.
And
Hell
that
yeah.
to that point, was that the largest audience you performed before?
Yes, I do believe so. Yeah,
He had to think though.
I did.
You notice that though. He's like, well, I don't know. Carry the one. So nerves still, or is it like old hat now? Like you just not like player nervous, right? Like excited for the game.
You definitely the excitement. The only time I get nervous, the national anthem is a hard song to sing.
Yeah, ask Fergie.
It's
Carl Lewis.
ask Roseanne.
Ask the little girl that just froze.
Yeah, it's a hard song to sing, and people don't realize that. And I'm fortunate enough that the way I face, they have the lyrics up there.
Where'd they put them?
There's like a little
On the reader
ticker,
board?
yeah,
Yep.
that goes all the way around, and so right where I'm looking, the lyrics are up there. So
Great.
if the lyrics are there, I'm great. I don't have to look at them. I just like having that safety.
It's almost
net.
like that. Yeah, that safety net, that comfort blanket. Okay.
Yep. There's been one time where their video thing was broken, and I get out there, I turn to sing, and nothing's up there, and I go, oh, and it was a visual thing where I kind of froze a little bit, and I was just like, please don't let this be the time that I forget these words. And my best friend was off to the side. She kind of noticed everything, and she was just like, what was wrong? And I was like, they didn't have the words up there. I didn't have my safety net. And that's when I was just like, I know I have the song in me. I can do it, till the cows come home. But just knowing that's there is just very, very calming. And so,
100%.
So that was more nerve wracking than my first time singing. Way more.
So the national anthem, right? I mean, it's under certain spotlight for a lot of different social reasons now about who's standing, who's kneeling, those in that nature. Singing the national anthem, I obviously there's a responsibility to the country. There's a responsibility to the event. Is there any pressure with that?
As a black man,
singing the national anthem, or is it just what you have to do?
I don't think there's ever been any pressure until last night. One of my friends, she's also a person of color, she asked me, have you ever considered kneeling during the national anthem? And I was like, no, I'll never. If I'm performing it, I'll never kneel. It's more so because of breath support. Like that's a hard song to sing anyway.
Right.
And if I'm kneeling and tucking in, I can't get the proper breath. But also, like you said, it's kind of having that moral responsibility to the country. Do I Do I agree with the people who kneel? Absolutely. Do I agree with the people who stand? Absolutely. That's why, people say a lot of different military people are saying that's why we fought for this country to be free. And so you can have those choices. Now, if I wasn't performing and somebody said, will you kneel with me? 100% I would kneel. And it's never to disrespect the country. That's what everyone thinks it is.
No, everyone
I shouldn't say everyone. No, you're right. Not everyone does think that. But there are people who are like, why are you disrespecting the flag? And it's like, it's not that. It's to bring forth the social injustice that's happening.
And what was the first, you sung the first game in the bubble, right? When the Stars, I think it was the Stars versus VGK. And they all kneeled because you were.
Oh yeah, Ryan Reeves and
I think you
quoted
like Ryan was singing with you.
Yeah, I saw him mouthing the words, which tells me right there he doesn't disrespect.
It's not about the flag.
No.
He still feels that excitement, that joy or whatever to be in an amazing nation. But there's some things wrong with the nation.
Yeah, and that's why they were kneeling. And he's Canadian. He doesn't have to sing the American national anthem.
100%
so.
true.
No, that was pretty awesome seeing him doing that.
Absolutely. So, do you know the African American national anthem?
Lift every voice and sing. That one?
Yeah. Yes, do you know it past the second verse?
I have to look at the lyrics for that one.
That's a running joke. You need a ticker for that one.
Yeah, I do. If I see the lyrics, I can sing it. I know the melody.
Shit, I think everybody can, but that's when the hum comes in real strong.
Yeah.
Yep. Till victory.
Yeah.
So, my bad.
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah.
For being, the Vegas Pipes, how did that ever start? Is that something that just kind of came organically? Something you support? Like, how did that whole thing come about?
It came 100% organically.
That's dope.
When I first started singing, it was in the first 3 games that I sang too. The first one I sang.
Hold on, right off jump.
Basically, and it wasn't me. After my second time singing, I got a message just from a fan who was like, "I want to get you a jersey to wear down there. What do you want on the back of it?" And of course, this was, just a few months after October 1 happened.
Correct.
So I'm thinking, I want to honor these people. So I want the 58 and I want the Vegas Strong on it. So I was like, whatever you guys choose is fine. But here's my input. I will wear whatever you do. But, since you asked me, I'll tell you. And he was just like, all right, we'll take that in consideration. And then he took a poll with a whole bunch of other people just to see what they liked. And they just wanted, there's only one Golden Pipes. And so they wanted the number 1. And because of the Golden Knights, they wanted the Golden Pipes. And so he gave it to me and I wore it. And that took off from there. So
shit's crazy.
I didn't even think of Golden Pipes. It was 100% not me.
And that's usually, they say like you can't give yourself a nickname, right? Like it's not as valid. And Deion would probably tell you something different, but that's Deion Sanders.
Kobe would too. Rest in peace, Kobe.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's still, right, the 1. It's still for 1 October. So I mean, you still can.
Yeah. You can
have that,
look
kind
at
of
it
symbolism with it. So
absolutely,
that's awesome, man.
So celebrities are not new to Las Vegas. We know that, but kind of becoming a celebrity, definitely a homegrown celebrity. How is that life now?
Not too much has changed. I mean, I'm still, I still have a day job. Well, I did before COVID happened.
Right.
I'm still a dad. I still go grocery shopping. I still run errands. I get my oil changed. It's nothing. A lot has changed except for people recognizing me out and about and just saying, oh, you're the Golden Pipes, thank you so much for singing, or contacting me and wanting me to sing for different things. Those have been the biggest changes that I've gone through.
Do you ever say like, I'm Carnell right now, I'm not the Golden Pipes right now, I'm just Carnell, or is it one and the same?
No, I don't. They just, oh, Golden Pipes, and I was like, oh, hey, how's it going? Some people do say Carnell, or they'll call me Carnell, and I'm like looking around and I don't recognize anybody.
Like, who's the hell saying my name?
Yeah,
right?
and then they're like waving, and I'm looking at them going, hi. And then they're just like, oh, I see you at the games. I'm like, oh, okay. Thank you. I'm very flattered, but I don't know these people.
So we do have. I'll take it in I thought you were going a different way with that. So with the celebrities that come to the game, who have you got a chance to like take a picture with, say hi to, or they've given you props saying, "Hey man, I love what you do on the ice."
So number one, Wayne Newton.
Yeah, I saw that. That's dope.
I had that picture with him.
I saw that picture. That's dope.
And then the rapper AP9. I don't know. He lives here in Vegas.
AP's good people.
And he's always up with me in Hyde Lounge, and we just like started shooting the shit up there. And so he's one that like he's just another regular guy. Like,
but AP is really good people though.
Oh no, he's awesome people.
Because he has a very hard
Oh yeah. No, you look at him, you're like,
yeah. But if you know him, he's
but if you talk,
he's good people. 100%.
Such a nice guy. Not too many more actually.
Okay.
You know, I've seen people. I've met some of the Knights players. Not even all of them though. Not yet.
Oh really?
Yeah. I'm like Alex Tuck. He'll see me every now and then, and he'll say hi to me. Nate Schmidt.
Well, a lot of them head over to the Wolfgang Puck thing. I forgot what
the players' locker.
The players' locker.
Yeah,
so
because they have a vested interest
in it. So do you do some things with them over there, right? Like, do you see some of the guys over there?
I have seen. That's where I've actually seen Alex Tuck, Schmitty. I was there for the opening, and it was on the same night that Ryan Reeves was releasing one of his other beer flavors. So they were kind of split between the two. But that night I've met William Carlson a couple times, just out and around. Yeah, I really don't meet too many celebrities. Yeah.
And so you say you're a fan now. Mm-hmm. I guess talk about how you feel their chances are now kind of in their Canadian bubble and how that's going for them.
They won last night. Let's go. Cheers.
1-0 in the series.
As of right now, I mean, they've played five games, an exhibition, 3-round robin, and first game, and they're 5-0 with them. Their chances are looking amazing. I think there are probably a couple other teams that have that, but you might be looking at the next Stanley Cup champions.
Stanley Cup champions.
I think so.
I like that.
There's a team in Colorado that I like as well. The Avalanche.
They're
Excuse me?
He's not wrong.
I'm not wrong.
Nathan McKinnon is an amazing player.
Tyreek Hill.
And they got our old Pierre-Edouard Bellemare, so he knows how the Knights work. See?
I mean, it's just some things that you think and you don't say, though.
I didn't say anything. I just said there's a team at Colorado that is okay. Yeah, that's all I said.
All right, so there's a hashtag that I don't know if it was hockey or Vegas. I want to say it's hockey created, and it's the Weskatefor campaign.
Yes.
Did you do the voiceover for the one that the Vegas Golden Knights did?
I did.
Okay, I thought that was your voice. All right. How did you feel about being a part of that? And it's dope because they're allowing everyone to say what they skate for.
Right.
So we had some pretty good ones. But how'd you get involved and tell us about that?
So they were just going to have me come in and do an audio recording of the national anthem. Just because the NHL asked all the teams up in the bubble, send your recording of the anthem. So, the Blackhawks send theirs, the Avs send theirs, and so we sent ours. And when I got there, they said, we literally just got this greenlit like 10 minutes ago before you got here. I just wrote out this script. We want you to do the read for this. And I was like, really? And they were like, yeah, we're going to, release it once the games get going. And so, I did that a few weeks ago.
They're not recent.
And yeah. And she texted me yesterday. She's like, we're going to go live with it, tonight at 7:30. And once I started listening to it, it's one of those things where you're like, holy crap, that's me. And, thousands of people are hearing this, whether they agree with it or not. Like, I'm there.
Absolutely. Most recognized voice in Las Vegas.
Accurate. So, I'm sorry, EJ, if I'm going too far ahead of myself, but I read that one of your goals are being kind of voiceovers for animated movies or video games and stuff. Was that like the first step, or you felt like that was like the first step into getting to that goal?
I think it definitely helped. I've taken voiceover lessons in the past, and people have always told me, oh, you got an amazing voice. And it's one of those things where, like, if you don't keep doing it, you kind of lose that technique.
Sure.
And so being able to do that kind of showed me, oh, this is something I really do enjoy doing. I do want to further the technique on that. So yeah, I would love to, wake up in my PJs, roll over to my
Put
voice booth.
Loaf, right?
Yep.
The little setup.
Yep. Just get my coffee, sit it right there, and just be, whatever. Animation, video games, TV. It'd be great.
That's a dope gig.
Right?
So, you mentioned this a little bit, and if you could expand upon it, because it's a chilling, like even you talking about it, like I got chills and takes me back to a game. You naturally pause for nights, and then how did you come up with? Because you're classically trained,
Yes.
and you don't really belt like it's not a full opera when you're doing the national anthem. So you found a little blend. How did you come up with that? And then how did you naturally like roll into the nights? Because it's like a main stake when you go to the game. So
Sure.
how did all of those things come about?
So the nights was just from my friends who had gone to games before telling me, hey,
Oh.
just so you know, they do this. And
That's a
it
good
was,
heads up.
yeah,
Yes.
it was my decision to just pause because they said a lot of people have gotten flubbed up when everyone yells, and then you're just like, wait, what do I do now?
Right.
Because I knew it was coming, I was just like, you know what? I don't need to say anything because they're going to cover it. It was that naturally just happened.
That's nice.
That's good. And then how did you come about the range? Because you said
Oh,
there's
yeah.
a way to do it, right? Like you did it the right way. Like you go in, you face the flag. And so how did you come up with, this is the sound I want, for that? And no Ferg.
Just just the way I was taught. I went in there and sang it. All these people try to embellish and oh, say does that star sing, with like Wanye Morris up in there.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. And not to harp on Wanye because he did cover me one time.
Yeah.
Went in there. It was either Wanye or Nate. I can't remember. But they paused because I did it. So, but all
Slick
these
technique.
right. But all these people just try to change it, and it's one of those things where with all anthems, I mean, the Canadian national anthem, Russian, Italian, whatever, it's written a certain way to sound a certain way, and so you just do it that way.
Got you.
And that's what I've always done. People are like, oh, you do it the right way. I was like, I don't think there's a right or wrong way. I do it as it's written. And so I just literally, I go out there, I sing it note for note as it's written. I hold for I just don't sing one word, and I hold one other word really long. And, in the land of the free, because I'm like, all right, I'll put a little bit of my spit into that.
Little sauce on it.
Yeah, give y'all a little something to go home to. But yeah, other than that, I never wanted to make it about me. It's about the song.
That's dope.
That is dope because
That's so dope.
I think sometimes, entertainers do that. You make it about you,
Right.
or them.
Yeah.
And it loses its authenticity of the song in general.
And then
So that is
people are-
dope.
Let's play some basketball.
Let's go ahead and say that.
it's like-
Hold on now. Carl.
oh,
That remix, I was watching that last night, like just was doing the research, and then the Warriors remix to that Fergie thing.
just the look on everybody's face are just like, this is the most awkward thing I've
It
been
was
through
so
right now.
bad. It was so bad. So, all right, you said you really became more of the sports fan, getting this opportunity, this amazing opportunity.
Mhm.
Now, your son is getting into hockey.
Yes.
Was that something because hockey's just growing down here and he thought it was cool because we were always a sports town to us, but everybody else is now saying we're becoming a sports town. But is he still in it, or is he growing that joy from just kind of being around it and seeing dad on the ice? Where'd that come about?
It definitely came from us going to our first few games. And getting to share that with your kid is
That's amazing.
I can't explain that.
Man, hold on. First, your daughter has the most amazing birthday. Your son's on the ice, and back of the house with these hockey players.
Yep.
Boy, you got a lot to work on when they get older, right?
I know. It's gonna be something like, hey, can you
Pops, can you do this? Because
front me something?
right.
When the Stanley Cup coming home with us?
Right.
Right.
Like we're going to get it a couple days at our crib. I want to eat cereal out of it, right? But no, just continue, though. He was just following the love from just being around that.
Yeah. I mean, before I wasn't even watching the games before I started singing at them, but I was following along.
Right.
And I was just like, especially with Marc-Andre Fleury just being this elite goalie,
Hall of Famer.
and just saying, oh my gosh, he's so good. And my son would just start to pick up on that and see my excitement about it. And then, we went to our first game. And I this is the moment I knew that sports was in his blood at a young age, because it was never in my blood
Right.
when I was young. But we were at the Game 5 Stanley Cup Championship where we lost against the Nationals. And he broke down crying. And that sent me, my
Absolutely.
son is devastated
That's the right.
over a team. And I was like, oh my God, he loves
Love this
them.
thing, yeah.
And that just filled me, with all of the different emotions. But I started crying right along with him. And I just, he was 11 at the
Damn,
time. So I
that's
just,
so dope.
put him on my lap, and we just sat there and cried together. And the one thing I will say about the Nationals is that their fans are very, very upstanding.
Yeah.
And so you had people coming around saying, you guys are amazing.
Right.
This wasn't a fluke. This team was ridiculous, and you guys earned the right to be here. So that was also a really cool thing. But
Wow.
like you
That's
said,
dope.
now he's playing hockey and he wants to learn the game. He's even talking about, I want to be a ref one day. And I was just like, really?
Wow, that's dope.
That's interesting. Okay.
That's good stuff, though, right?
Yeah, he's into it.
Yeah, it can hit you. It can hit you early. I remember when the Cowboys lost in the 1994 NFC Championship to the 49ers. I literally cried. I cry, and the Cowboys been making me cry since.
Continuously.
Continuously, so I can still cry.
But they won before that with the Bills, right? 52-17. I'll
Yeah.
always remember that.
Yeah.
I remember the score because I was a Cowboys fan when I was a kid.
It's America's team. Everybody's a little bit
Was.
of
You
a
hear you say it was past tense.
Cowboy. I said it. It
No,
is
no, I
America's
said
team.
was.
He said
so.
was.
I said it.
Oh, good Lord. Good Lord.
Everybody's a little bit of a Cowboys fan. It's all good.
Continuing. Well, that's awesome that he built that.
That
love.
is.
And
that
I-
is awesome.
And I think everybody's feeling that love, right?
Mhm.
Because they are the first born
Yeah.
team here, right? And I'll never forget the first day I came. I was actually not living here at the time. I came back for the first game, and I'm seeing like everybody come. I was like, where'd they get all this Golden Knights jersey? Like we've had
Right.
a team for like 8 years,
Right.
and like all different things. So people are really connected to that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
It
the
was
energy is
amazing.
crazy.
It's the different- it's
Oh,
crazy.
The
I
energy.
can't explain it.
I totally agree. The energy is crazy.
Yeah.
So amazing opportunity you have, the Vegas Golden Pipes. Not going to possibly become a millionaire doing that.
Probably not.
Not through them, I should say.
Not through them.
So what's the next kind of goal? I mean, we talked about voiceover.
Mm.
I mean, are we talking, theatrics is in, theater is really a part of your life as well, and we haven't talked about that. I mean, is Hamilton something that you'd shoot for?
You know what? If it fell into my lap, I would have to take it. It was when I first started hearing it in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to it for a year and a half straight. Like literally in my car, everywhere I went was just Hamilton before I finally changed it to something else.
Wow.
But I've been a musical theater fan for over 20 years. I
Okay.
did musical theater in high school. We have a thing here, the Super Summer Theater out at the Spring Mountain Ranch.
Yeah.
Oh, dope.
I've done 6 shows out there. I've actually done some things here in town. And so musical theater, it being that big thing, I would look at it saying, yeah, if you want to come and do Hamilton in New York, come do Hamilton in New York. I'd go for a year, and then I'd be like, all right, I want to go back to Vegas.
All right. So with the last thing about the Golden Knights, man, because it's just a dope kind of energy. Do you still take, I don't know, just can you give us the feeling of like how you prep, right? Like just walk, because people won't get that, right? It's just like we talk about walking on the field during the Super Bowl, like what that energy would be like. People don't get to experience that. Can you just kind of take us maybe a little bit of your pregame? How do you walk up? How do you warm up? Just take us down on the ice with you just for a second.
Okay. So I'm always down in my dressing room about 20 minutes before everything starts. That's usually where I do my warm-ups. I'll go into
How's warm ups go? You want to give us a little sample of that warm up?
when I'm doing the warm ups, I'll actually go into the bathroom for all of the acoustics.
Okay.
And literally I'll just like and just
that boy good. That boy good.
And I'll just do that over and over again, until I feel I'm warm. And then I sing through the whole song. I have an app on my phone that is just a continuous tone of the key that I do it in. I hold it up to my ear just to keep it in my body, and I will just sing through the song as I would sing it out there on the ice. And then usually when I'm done with that, they come and get me in about 5 minutes. We walk over there. We kind of just wait until they call me out, and I'm usually standing out there for about 10, 12 minutes. And
oh, you're standing out there for a while before they cue you.
Yeah, well, because where I have to walk is right in front of the locker rooms, and they close off that walkway.
Okay.
Like when they're getting ready to come out, so I have to get by it. There has been one time where they forgot to come and get me, or they were busy. I shouldn't say they forgot. They're probably busy. And I was just like, I'm singing in like 7 minutes. Should probably go. And so I start walking through, and like all of the guards are there, and I'm like, I gotta sing, and because they know who I am, right, they're just like, oh yeah, hurry up and go. Yeah, but I'm usually just hanging out there. And
that's super dope, man.
I love it.
That's awesome. I'm getting chills from the preparation standpoint, because when we've said it before, I'm the DB of this show. But I played football back in the day, and I can just, when you were going through your pregame warm-up, I can feel like myself going through that pregame ritual, and seeing the entire other side gave me chills just now. Like, you know what? That brings me back into a whole nother level of like, man,
prepping
this
and what that went through and all of that mindset.
Yeah, that's super dope.
Oh yeah,
that's awesome, man. Thank you for taking us there.
Yeah.
All right, man. So here's the winner's circle. This is where we talk about the platform, man. We bring people on because we talk about a platform, and you're doing great things in the community, and that's why we have this. And what you want to talk about today is that you are the co-founder of it's a tongue twister, Ava's Avengers.
Yes.
Yeah.
So tell us about the org and what the mission is.
So our mission statement is find your inner hero. We in 2013, I was at my heaviest. I was like 322 pounds, and just not active. And my best friend at the time, his daughter Ava, has this condition called Chiari, which means her brain actually leaks down the bottom of her skull into her spine, and she has to have surgery. Now, you would never know it looking at her. You would never. She never complains about it. She's always in high spirits. She's just an amazing little girl. And even when they were taking her she had brain surgery at 4 years old.
Shit.
And she's fine now, but you would never think about it. But even in the hospital, as they're wheeling her to the surgery, she's hearing other kids cry. And she's like sitting up going, are they okay? What do they need?
Are you shitting me?
Like she just,
compassionate about
her heart is massive. And while they were there doing that, my friend, something happened with him and he got paralyzed. Like while he was at the hospital, they still don't know what it was. But he's sitting in the bed, paralyzed, while she's down the hall getting brain surgery. And I had put out on Facebook something like, hey, I saw this thing about obstacle course racing. Who wants to do it? And once he got the feeling back, he was just like, I used to run marathons. He used to do MMA. He was like, I'll do it with you. And so I was like, oh, cool. So literally a month before we were going out, it was in Arizona, I start going to the gym a month before. I'm still 322 pounds. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm training for this. I'm gonna do it. Right. Yeah. I get out there, I run 100 yards, I trip on a rock and just fall on my ass. Like, have you ever seen Marvel's Infinity War? Like the end one where they're in Wakanda and Bruce Banner is in the Hulkbuster and he's running and he trips on that. That was me. That was literally me. Like everybody around us were like, yeah, and
hyping you up and then boom, crash.
Yep.
Big man go down.
Yeah, but that was kind of the start of it. And ever since then, we would do these other races, usually obstacle course races, and it just kind of grew into this thing where he's like, you know what, I want to do this for my daughter.
Wow.
And so we kind of, he came up with the idea, but we kind of co-created it, where we want to invite other people to come out and just, be a better you. You don't have to be the best runner out there. You don't have to be able to climb a rope. You don't have to be able to run a 5K in 25 minutes. Just come out. If you want to be a better person, if you want to be a better you, be a healthier you, we're here for you. We will run with you. We will walk with you. We'll crawl with you. It doesn't matter. We want you to want to be better. And
That's dope.
And his daughter does these things. She does all of these races, and she's up to like I think she's 10. She may have just turned 10, 9 or 10, but she's up to the adult races now. Now she doesn't do like the 15-mile ones, but she'll do the 5K ones with us, and she'll blow people out of the water. You would never know that she had this disease that's incurable.
Shout out to Ava. Wow.
Yeah. And so what do we do? I mean, we raise all this money, and we help people with their medical bills. So we've had there's a room in the Ronald McDonald House in LA. We paid for a whole year of a room. So if somebody goes down there and they can't pay for anything, they can stay in this specific room and everything's taken care of. Wow. So,
damn.
Yeah. So
I gotta applaud that, man. Yeah.
That's good stuff, man.
No, I love it.
I love the finding your inner hero. Sometimes that's difficult. I think sometimes it's hard to look at yourself in the mirror and kind of find who that hero is. So you talked about kind of your journey of, and I even saw like on your IG about weightlifting, about conquering some weight that you've conquered now. So how did you, I guess when you test yourself to different limits that might test you and get out of your comfort zone, how is that for you? How was that process for you, finding your inner hero?
It's one of those things that's hard at first, especially if you're just trying to get into it and you really don't know what you're doing. It's easy to get discouraged. You get on a treadmill and you can only run for 2 minutes, if that, and you're just like, oh, I'm just that work's not putting in.
Defeated.
Yeah, you can easily get that way, and I've just had to look at myself and just kind of check myself. There was a time where I was really depressed, and the only thing that got me through it was working out. So I would force myself. What I would do, I would take my daughter to school, drop her off, and then I would put my gym clothes on as I dropped her off so that I would just go to the gym right afterwards.
Right. Has no stop.
Yeah.
Go.
Don't go back home, because once you go back home,
it's a wrap.
There's the couch, there's the TV, boom. I would go to the gym, and that's when I started learning, you know what, I don't have to be the best every single time. I can work towards it. And if I have a bad day, you know what, I'm going to come back tomorrow and I'm going to have a better day than I did yesterday. And that has got me to the mindset. And now I go 6 times a week, and I'm usually there for 2.5 to 3 hours.
So dope, man.
That's big time.
That's good stuff.
And that's anything in life. Really.
Yeah.
I mean, every day is not going to be a good day.
It's not.
Let's go back tomorrow and try again.
Hashtag keep going, man. That's my thing.
That's big time.
Take a step. Just move, right?
Yeah. You just take one step. And if you take one step back, you know what? Tomorrow, take 2 steps forward.
That's awesome. So you guys have done some cool stuff. So you've done a toy drive, food drive, clothing drive. But, man, what the hell is a Mighty Mosquito relay, man?
It was a Mighty Mosquito. Was I part of that?
Because it was on your website. I'm like, what the hell? Like, you running from mosquitoes? What the hell is that?
You know what? These people who put on these things, they come up with some crazy, crazy things. There's like a lake-to-lake relay. There's a fish lake relay. There are all these different things. And so that just happens to be the name of
some event
particular relay. Yeah, but relays are just, you go out and you have a team. Ragnar, that's the big thing. There's Ragnar, which is like 170 something miles that you run over a couple days, but with a team of like 12 people. And so you just go out and you run, you have a good time, and after you run, we usually get shit faced and
see that I'll be there for the shit face part.
The Mighty Mosquitoes had to be held in Montgomery, Alabama. Jesus.
They just eat you alive down there.
Golly.
So you guys do, and it seems, and just reading about it, it seems you provide a stopgap, right? Like you want to raise money and you want to help as many people, and it's just really, there's no, oh, we're only doing cancer, oh, we're only doing kids, or it's just a stopgap to help people reach their limit, right? To become a hero or to be a hero to somebody, right?
Yeah, the whole thing is to raise the money. But these other people who are joining us, it's if they have an ailment and they get over it and they want to join, absolutely, we'll take anybody, literally anybody, if you have that mindset. But it's the people who we get to come and do these races, do these musical events, do these toy drives, that raises the money to help out these other families that otherwise wouldn't be able to make it.
That's dope. So, how could you just give any of the social for the Ava's? We're going to put this in the show notes of too, but if you could just say any of the website, how they get in touch with you, all of that.
So our website is Ava's Avengers. I see it is a tongue twister.
I told you.
I can't even say it all the
This
time.
wine don't help though, but anyway.
avasavengers.org is where you can find us, and our Instagram is Ava's Avengers. Our Facebook isn't up yet. We want to put more content on it, but those are the two places that you can get a hold of us right now.
That's super dope, man. All right, man. I mean, time flies when you're having fun. I mean, so we're coming to the end of our time.
It has been an hour.
Right? It's
Damn.
crazy, right? But we want you to leave, and how we ask all of our guests is to leave off with the assist, right? So this is the coaching gym, words to live by, a mantra, right? And I mean, you can even go back to what you do if you want to do just a tip. We know you leave those on your Facebook.
That was Just a Tip Tuesdays.
Just a Tip Tuesdays. So you can follow him and get those Just a Tip Tuesdays lessons. But yeah, just a word to the wise.
I mean, I actually have a tattoo on my chest. It's kanji, and it says continuing forever, but it means perseverance, and that's what it takes, Samuel L. Jackson, Jeremy Renner, I'm thinking of people who didn't get famous until they were in their late 30s, early 40s, sometimes 50s, and they knew what they wanted to do, and they never gave up, no matter how many no's they got. So, if you are 45 years old and you wanna sing, don't stop. Keep going. That's all I could say is just
let's go.
You have to keep going, because once you stop, then you're never gonna reach it.
I love it. All right. Well, hey, we want to thank our guest, man. Thank you, Mr. Golden Pipes, for blessing us today. You know what I mean? If you want to sing us out, you can do that while I say a few parting words. But big thanks to our friend of the show, Rodney Arnett, for helping us set this up. And thank you, the people, for listening, man. I hope you enjoyed today's show. Please give us feedback on who else you'd like to see, what you thought of the show. We are Black in Sports on all platforms, on all social platforms. And then don't forget, we have the Locker Room episodes dropping. That's our short format every Tuesday. Just stay safe, practice gratitude, and know we're rooting for you.
Screaming, all us blacks got is sports and entertainment until we even.
Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Yeah. Yeah. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Yo. Look. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Spent about 2 racks on handmade new rags. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. That's everybody from sports to college class to rap.